Today I'm going to be sharing from the Kosher Torah school. It's about the Arizal, the 8 gates. And we learn about the hive mind soul of the Adamic race. Adam was an androgynous male-female back-to-back, sharing back and shoulders with opposite faces. Psychological evolution of collective consciousness of the Adamic race. The original form of the hive mind maintained full consciousness and awareness in a multiverse of dimensions. Asiya Yetzira Bria, which is physical, emotional components and intellectual components of the human personality. Adamic super soul consists of all human souls merged at the das, or the knowledge, and gives rise to individual thoughts, which each materialized eventually into a separate physical body, becoming individual souls, persons. This process occurred emanating souls focused on physical asiatic, or like the manifested, the in action, in motion, reality, emotional yetziratic reality, and the bariotic, the intellectual reality. To accommodate this process, both physical time and space were created, and a 6,000-year cycle established in both time and human psychology for all individual souls' thoughts to be brought into fruition, and from there to be aligned and realigned with the collective whole, tikkun, organized. So again, asiya is physical, emotional is yetzira, and biriya is intellectual. So we have the 4 worlds, and I've listed 3 of them. The first one is the emanation. It's not listing here. So then it goes into emotional, intellectual, emotional, and physical. So Adam's portion of the chala of the world, all the souls are included with him, like chelek, chala. Like chala was the mitzvah to give to the priest. So Moshe's portion is higher. He rectified what Adam couldn't. Being a chosen nation is the obligation or a chore rather than a glorious, calling. The purpose of religion, you would say rituals, observance, for the sake of the greater good, for the collective whole. Mashiach comes when we accomplish collective integration. Moshe radiated something that influenced all of collective humanity. This is also known as what did Moshe rectify that Adam couldn't? Is awakened and introduced the greater psychological elevations and achievements of the soul. Then we have Cain, which is the aggressive, imbalanced archetype soul. There is a difference, and this is Adam's son, right? There's a difference between souls emanating from exclusively male, wasted seed, versus those born of feminine, male balance. So Cain's souls emanate from one of the highest domains in the concealed realms. As such, a hard time being able to materialize properly fully here on earth, symbolized as being united in the female form, which is Chava. The Cain personality, born in a state of psychological frustration, sensing how difficult life is for them to manifest the fullness of their being within the limits presently imposed, which leads to imbalanced thoughts, feelings, and actions. Original descent of Cain's souls to inner earth. Numerous hybrid life forms exist there. And then we say the demonic energy, Shadim, have agenda of rectification as well. Souls from either the head of Cain or the feet, and there's a loss of consciousness of the Keter crown souls. In collective Adam, there are 10 sfirot, 5 partsufim, 5 countenances. It's from a previous video, and 4 worlds. I've covered this in previous videos. Please feel free to watch them. But in short, we have chesed. We have Keter crown, Chachma Bina, and then Das is an additional one when the 2 come together. Then we have Chesed, Gevura, Tiferet, and then the legs, the bottom triangle, and the pelvis. We have right leg Netzach, left leg Hod, pelvis Yisod. These are just the physical template, but really these all have psychological, emotional, and intellectual underpinnings and as attributes. And then of course the feet, which is Malchus, which is sovereignty, dignity, and the 5 partsufim is the mother, daughter, the ancient one, the son, and the father. And then the 4 worlds, I just mentioned 3 of them, Yetzira, Bria, and Asiya, and then you have also Atzilut, which is emanation. So souls emanate from each domain, yielding the personality types. After the tree, a tree of knowledge of good and evil, entrapment, Keter souls could only radiate at the nefesh level, the body level, and level of consciousness severely curtailed. Certain Adamic souls split from Adam and never ate from the forbidden tree. You would say Metatrons, higher selves, spiritual guides. The rest descended, Keter at Nefesh, so the light, the original crown, went into the body, and others into physical, emotional, or mental darkness. Rectification is, and I'll stop here because it's going to be the Sabbath soon. It's Friday getting later in the day. There's a lot more interesting stuff to come in the next video. But rectification, I mentioned tikkun before, is the psychological integration of all elements and aspects of multiple orientations of consciousness. And I want to wish you a holy Sabbath. If you observe it, bringing in the divine presence, feminine indwelling, so the Shekhinah, accepting it with a pure heart and with the energy of a tremendous loving smile.